There are three systems that control the brain body. The first is the central nervous system, which includes the brain, spinal cord, and nerve cells. Without going too deep into its anatomy, the brain has three major parts. The walnut-shaped cerebrum, which develops last and controls things like fine motor skills, speech, emotions, and complex learning. The cerebellum, that's associated with balance, motor control, cognitive functions, and emotional regulation. And the brainstem, which develops first and acts as a relay center between the brain and the spinal cord. Our spinal cord runs from the bottom of our brain to our lower back and can be compared to a two-lane highway running through a tunnel. Except instead of cement, the tunnel around our highway is made of bone, and instead of asphalt, the lanes are paved with nerve cells. Branching off of the highway are streets and roads that run throughout our body. But because they are not protected by a tunnel, the peripheral nerve cells, along with the nerves in the retinas of our eyes, are more vulnerable to traumatic damage. Nerve cells in the brain body communicate using 100 known neurotransmitters, which is essentially a fancy word for brain chemicals, that they release in the space between them, which then act like a key in a lock that triggers an action in a targeted cell or gland. Most often, information from the body's sensory nerves travel up to the brain, and after processing, the brain responds with an impulse that instructs targeted cells to move faster, to move slower, or to stop moving. However, some high-risk signals are processed by the spinal cord before reaching the brain. When this happens, we refer to it as a reflex. The actions of our nervous system are separated by whether we can control them or not. For instance, deciding to sit down belongs in the somatic category, whereas involuntary actions such as digestion belongs in the autonomic category. Additionally, the autonomic category splits into the sympathetic system, involved with our fight or flight response, and the parasympathetic system, that works when it's safe for us to rest and digest. To keep things simple, I refer to these two systems as the move and the relax system. The central nervous system has its own process for waste removal. Known as the glymphatic system, it washes the brain using cerebral spinal fluid, which also supplies nutrients and provides protective cushioning for the cells and structures. This cleaning, however, occurs mostly during sleep, which is another reason why 6 to 8 hours of sleep is necessary for good brain health. Since the body's immune system ends just below our ears, the brain maintains its own integrity with a special blood-brain barrier that allows nutrients and hormones in, but stops foreign invaders and large or water-based molecules from entering. The second and third systems that control our brain body are the exocrine and endocrine systems, which use 50 known hormones. Containing 11 glands, the endocrine system releases hormones directly into the bloodstream, which then influences cells or other glands that affect everything from blood sugar levels and blood pressure, as well as growth and fertility, sex drive, metabolism, and sleep. Special mention goes to the pituitary gland that links the endocrine system and the central nervous system together. The 8 glands in the exocrine system use ducts to secrete hormones onto body surfaces. Sweat, Saliva and digestive juices are examples of exocrine functions. Together, these three systems communicate with each other to maintain homeostasis in our brain body. However, the nervous system is capable of making changes in different body regions in a fraction of a second, whereas the endocrine and exocrine systems influence slower, widespread, and longer-lasting actions.